Plays here, bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing the meta report for this past week's tournaments. So it's going to be the week of November 14th through November 20th. I want to start by apologizing for not uploading a video at the end of last week or the beginning of this week. I've been dealing with a little bit of a sickness, so I haven't really been able to record very well. But we are back. I'm not feeling 100%, but good enough to record this video and get it out there. Hopefully make some good content the rest of the week. Anyways, I'm going to jump right on into the meta report. We have a lot of tournaments to talk about this week. I believe we have 6 tournaments to talk about, so there's a lot of content to cover. And the first one is going to be the Hay Cup 38. As always, it's, well, not as always, but we have 38 players, and as always, it is single elim, one deck. Best of 1 before semifinals, and best of 3 for semi and finals. The first place was a Flew Under Reese. It should note that Barrier Statue wasn't banned this week for this event in particular. It was for most of the rest of the week, though. So other than that, I'm just going to kind of skip over that one. Second place, we have Drytron here. Nothing too insane. They're only playing 2 Maxi in the main board. They're playing the E to 10. Playing a lot of, not a lot of rituals, but kind of a lot. Foolish Burial of Goods, that's pretty interesting. It's a very good card in the deck. Droplet in the main board. Just some various, like, level 7 synchros. Nothing too insane. Only 1 Fafnir. I think that's a little weird, but nothing too crazy. Are they going for Union Lock stuff? No, they're just going for Union Lock with Ava. Or Union Carrier with Ava. Then we got a top 4 Adamancipator. This is going to be the start of a very good week for Adamancipator. We see the Barrier Statue in the main deck. Listen, people are telling me I'm crazy for wanting all of these banned, but they are an issue. No matter, like, it's only a matter of time before cards like this get broken. But nothing looks too insane here. 60 card variant of the deck. Oh no, sorry, 52 cards, not 60, but they're still playing the grass. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I think this deck is really underrated right now, but with the results this week, it's definitely not underrated. It's being represented very, very well. Then we got a top 4 Adventure branded Despia. You see the Gamma in the main board. I like that a lot. The Adventure stuff, obviously. It's also really good with the Adventure stuff. So, Link Spider, Verte. Okay, nice. Moving on to the second tournament. We're at the Apple Media Cup number 8. This was 114 players. Wow, it's a lot. Single elim, 1 deck. Best of 1 before semifinals, and best of 3 for semis and finals. Same as the Hay Cup. First place we have... excuse me, I'm sorry about that. First place we have an Adamancipator deck. We see 60 cards in this variant. Gamma package in the main deck. No Barrier Statue in this one, but other than that, it looks fairly standard. It doesn't look nothing too, like, outlandish here. Very cool. Check and look at the extra. We got Union Carrier. Are they going for the lock? Okay, I guess they're just equipping Block Dragon. I think. You just equip Block Dragon with the Union Carrier, I suppose. To something. Anyways, I don't know. They're not playing the Buster Lock, so that's why I was kind of confused. I guess we could do, like, Snow, maybe? I don't know how you would do Snow. Because it needs to be the same type and attribute, right? The same original type or attribute. Oh, no. So you can just do original type or attribute. So you can just do Snow and then link it off and get Snow into grave. Well, I guess you wouldn't be able to do it to this. But anyways, I'm rambling. I don't exactly know what they're going for with their Union Carrier, but it's probably Block Dragon, Snow, something along those lines. All right, anyways, moving on here. Got a top 4 at Ignister. Very clean. Doesn't look like anything too crazy here. Good amount of hand traps. Yeah, nothing too insane. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Top 4 Speedroids. Wow. It's very rare that you see that, but I'm glad to see it. I actually played against a Speedroid player in a tournament earlier this weekend. It was a fun match. I was able to get the win, but it was very fun. This deck is kind of scary when it starts to pop off. But very cool. Some main deck Floodgates. Nice. It's got the ability to play them, so why not? And then top 4, we got a Zombie World branded Eldritch here. Nothing too crazy in this list. It looks very standard. Top 8, we got a branded Despia. Again, looks pretty standard. Power of Prosperity. That's becoming more and more popular because it's an insane card. We got the Twins, the main board. I'm assuming that's just because it's best of 1. Striker Dragon. That's been fairly popular. Then another Adamancipator deck. This is probably the same as the guy that did well over here. Looks like it is. Yep, same guy. Looks like pretty much the same deck. Maybe a few cards different. I'm not exactly sure. But the Barrier Statue. Yeah, very nice. Top 8 Pendulum Magicians. Pendulum Magicians also did very good this week. This was an FTK version, obviously with the... no, it's not FTK version. Oh, good on them. Good on them not to play the FTK stuff with like the Leerlusk fusion, but very cool. Nice. Top 8 Branded Despia. Lots of Branded Despia. Lots of Branded Despia. All right. Anyways, moving on to Damage Step, number 51, hosted by DLE. I got 42 players, single elim, one deck, 15 card side deck. First place we had a Synchron. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I don't know how this deck won, but it won. Yeah, it's really impressive, honestly, that they were able to win with this. This deck's kind of crazy. It's just like a pure gas combo kind of deck, but very cool. I would try to analyze this, but I don't know how the deck works well enough to... The ins and outs of the deck work well enough to do it, to actually explain it very well. But Yazi into Mare is kind of insane. Anyways, moving on to... This is something I wanted to talk about, Performapals. Someone asked me in the comment section of one of my videos about Performapals, and I was like, well, it's not a real deck. Like, you just play Performapal cards in Pendulum Magicians, or in, like, Odd-Eyes cards and stuff in Magicians. But, like, this guy made Odd-Eyes Performapals like a real deck. And, like, he did very well with it. He got top 4 with it, which is awesome. So maybe I need to revisit this and actually discuss this deck as, like, something that's real. But I just did not think this was going to be a real thing. I'm assuming it's because of the new cards. Like, there's a lot of new cards here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new cards in the deck. I mean, that's pretty good. Like, so, yeah. If you guys want to see me, or, well, if you guys want me to talk about this in, like, the next tier list or something like that, I definitely will. But very cool. We got top 4 birds. Trepigate Leerlusk. Obviously no barrier statue. We're going with the Avion. I don't know what this guy normally plays, but definitely not the barrier statue anymore. Nice. Nothing looks too insane here. Searchable Crow in the main board is always nice, but siding the Harpy's Featherstorm, classic. Top 4 Dragon Link. Shout out to Maybe It's Destiny. It's one of my teammates. Sadly, he and I played in round 2, and he was able to get the win. It was a mirror match, as always. But yeah, his deck is, he's on, what am I looking at? It's kind of crazy here. Nothing too crazy. Lancey's in the main board. That's not that absurd with Despia and Sword Soul and just other decks. I guess that's not great against Despia, you know, but I mean, it's good against Sword Soul. It's good against various things. And it's also a light, so it's got synergy with the deck. Talents in the main board. Yeah, other than that, nothing too insane here. It looks pretty standard. Looks pretty standard. Only 1 recharger. The Albaz with the Albaz stuff. This is really good. He's playing the Dill. What's he playing? He's playing Dill over Dark. He and I differ in that, at least right now. Siding the Chaos Hunters and stuff. This stuff's really, really good right now. Very underrated. Galaxy Cyclone's a great side deck option with the grass. Anyways, moving on to the next one. We got the Third Eye Weekly, number 34. 59 players, single elim, 1 card deck. No, it's 1 deck, 15 card side. We always do that every single week. It's 1 deck, 15 card side deck, best of 3. See the breakdown here? We got a lot of, oh, wow, a lot of Despia, a lot of Dragon Link, and then everything else kind of falls off. Sword Soul's dropped drastically in popularity. That's kind of crazy. In the top 8 we see over here, but we're going to go through all those decks, so I'm not going to read them off. But very, very cool. First place, we got an Adamancipator, guys. I told you, Adamancipator had a heck of a week. It's kind of insane, but they had a heck of a week. This is playing some Gym Knight stuff. Are they playing the Fusion? Yeah, the Brilliant Fusion. This card's kind of insane. I'm surprised they're not playing Seraph Knight. Gym Knight. I'm surprised they're not playing this. Well, I guess this just lets you dump a rock. Yeah. So you're just playing this to just dump another rock. I mean, I guess that makes sense. So you're prioritizing getting a rock into the grave instead of like just an extra normal summon. So that makes sense in a deck like this. That's actually really cool. I have been thinking about like busting Adamancipator back out. For 1, because it started to do very well, and 2, because it's just a very fun combo deck. And I might have to like test this out because that's really, really cool. I like that a lot. Anyways, second place we have Branded Despia. This is just a pure gas version. This guy might have beat me in this tournament, maybe in top 16 or top 32. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what tournament I lost to this guy specifically in, but yeah, I mean, is this the one that he was siding? Yeah, he appointed me in game 3. Yeah, that's what it was. Kind of insane, you know, this deck is all gas. There's no hand traps, really no defense here. The only defense they really have is super polymerization. And, well, he drew it against me in game 1. Was able to take the game 1 win because of super poly. But other than that, he's not really playing any defensive cards. So, high risk, high reward, and it's been working out. Nice. Well played. Siding the shit all stuff for going first. Not unnecessary in my opinion, but still very good. Top 4, we got a danger spiral here. Very low hand trap count. You know, we got six hand traps in the main board, 6 going second cards. In a 45 card deck, it's pretty risky. You gotta, you know, hope your opponent doesn't see the outs to him. But it worked out. I personally like the 40 card variant of this. I think going over 40 in a combo deck like this that needs specific cards exclusively is very risky, but you know, it's working out. But also, I don't know Spiral as well as this guy does probably, so he might know something that I don't. Top 4, we got Chaos, Pile, Dragonlink, Orcus, Phantom Knight, thingy. This monstrosity of a deck. I say monstrosity in a good way. I think this deck is very cool. But yeah, very nice. Nothing too. I think this guy plays basically the same deck every single week, so it's really cool. It's cool to see it. Then we got top 8 Tinny Spiral. This is a very weird deck, a very interesting deck. It's basically like the new version of Auroradon Turbo. That's basically what he's going for, Auroradon stuff with the Danglong and all this crazy stuff. This deck is it's a mess, but I kind of love it. Very cool stuff. Protos is obviously a god card. Red Reboot the main deck. I don't know why this is in the main deck. This is a best of 3 with side deck, but you know, to each their own. Anyways, moving on to the top 8, we got Pendulum Magicians. We got 6 hand traps. I always look at the hand traps in this deck because this deck can't fit many of them, but they're playing 6 and they're playing not the FTK stuff. Nice. Love to see it. I like seeing this. And they're not playing the new Beyond the Pendulum, which is so weird. I think the same thing happened last week, which is super strange to me, but then all these one-of cards in the extra deck, in the side deck. Interesting. Top 8, we got Branded Despia. Very standard list. There's no outliers here, really. They're playing Droplet in the main deck. They're playing Retribution in the main deck. That's actually kind of cool. A lot of times you won't see that, but I do like to see it sometimes. No links. Should all stuff in the sideboard, as always. Not as always, but it's been becoming a lot more popular recently. Then we got top 8 Adventure Phantom Knights with the Scythe Lock. Got some dangers here. This looks like pretty standard for this guy. I feel like this guy always plays very similar decks. The deck doesn't really change very much, and it always seems to work out. Very nice. All right, and that's it for the Third Eye Weekly. Moving on to DG Tour. DG Tour X Duel Showdown number 17. This was 110 players, single elim, 1 deck, 15 card side deck, best of 3. Also should note $250 price of US price support. Very, I think that was just, no, that was just total. Total was 200 given away, which is awesome. So we see a lot of Branded Despia, a lot of Sword Soul, a decent amount of Dragon Link, decent amount of Salad. Marin says, people are on Marin says, really? It's kind of crazy. Marin says hasn't really done anything this week. But, you know, Despia, Sword Soul, Dragons, all very popular. First place, we got Sword Soul Tinny. This is like the first time we've seen Sword Soul all week, and I think it's because people are just getting sick and tired of this deck. It's one of those things, like, we've been playing the same meta, essentially the same meta for so long that I think people are just starting to get bored of it and like, okay, let me play some other stuff. That's why Adamancipator might be seeing a resurgence. That might be why, I don't know, like other decks. What have we seen that's unique? Really, we've seen, you know, Dry Tournament's not super unique. The Performapal deck, it's new, but it's probably not the best, but it's still kind of unique. We've seen Speedroids, the more kind of crazy spiral decks. All these different decks that we've seen that are not very standard, I think are getting more popular because people are just bored of the meta. Me included. The meta is very boring in my opinion, but this is very standard. And, you know, very standard and very strong. Yeah. Nothing too insane here. Oh, they are playing the Light Dragon adding Nister. It's a little interesting. Usually you'll play like Baguska or something in the extra deck over this if you're going to play Ring 4, but not a bad option, I suppose. Siding Token Collector in Sword Soul, that's very risky. You can really hurt yourself a lot doing that, but you can also completely just destroy another Sword Soul deck. Then we got second place, Branded Despia here. This is more of a gas version. They're playing one-off hand traps just for the cross out. I don't know how I feel about that, but you know, they got second place with it, which is very good. All right, just the Allure build with the Mercs, strategies, nothing too insane. No droplets, anything like that. Only Super Poly is a really defensive card in the one-off hand traps. This deck is wild. Top 4, we got Buster Blade or Branded Despia, which is actually really cool because you can like go into like the the Dragon Destruction Swordsman guy, basically just like FTK Dragon decks, in pretty much any deck if you're able to make the Buster Dragon, which is really cool. It's just a different play style for Branded, and it's really cool that a deck like Branded can, or an engine like Branded, I should say, can fit into so many different things that become competitively viable because of it. You gotta love to see that kind of stuff. But very cool. Love this. I'm glad to see it do good too. It's always nice. Then we got top 4, another Branded Despia. Branded's doing very well in this tournament. We got a lot of hand traps here. We got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 hand traps, 2 super polys, 12 hand traps, 2 super polys, so very high hand trap count, very defensive. Nice list. I like this. I like that stuff. It's good. It's good. It's not too greedy. I like that. Top 8, got a Salamangreat. Obviously, we're gonna have a lot of hand traps here. Let's count them. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 hand traps in the main board. Rage and Roar, the Parallel Exceed, they're going a little bit higher risk than most salad strategies go, but I do like that. It's still not high risk, but it's a decent amount of risk, and I like that. They're citing the microcoder. They're probably searching it. Yeah, they're searching out the conflict. So this is going to be for like going first. They're just going to set up another Omni Negate. Very cool. Or not another Omni Negate. They're going to set up an Omni Negate with their Heat Soul, which is very cool. I like that a lot. Top 8, we got another Sword Soul here. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 hand traps. Very standard list though. Only one Desires. That's actually not super standard. You should probably usually play 2 to 3 of these, but they are on 1. Very interesting. And the 1 Duster in the main board, I guess it's just they're scared of Eldritch, which is fair. I mean, you didn't know what you were going to see in a tournament like this because Flu just got nerfed. And also, what is this thing? Mayakashi? If a link monster is in your possession is destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other zombie monster from your graveyard if you do special summon this card. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can activate this effect this turn. This card is unaffected by other effects. How do you make this? So you just go a level 7 and a level 4 tuner to make this, and then why do you make this is my question. What's the point of this? I mean, you can revive it with Baron, which is interesting. It's also got 3,300 attack points. That's interesting. But I don't really understand the reason that this is in the deck. But anyways, if someone can explain, let me know in the comment section below. They're siding Protoss. Wow, siding Protoss. That's bold. Protoss is good going first or second. That's kind of crazy. We got top 8. Same guy as earlier with Adventure Phantom Knights. That's probably the same list, to be honest with you. Yeah, it looks like the same list. At least very similar, if not exactly the same. So very good work. Very well played. Then we got a Zombie World Branded Eldritch. This is actually the deck that beat me in this event, sadly. Game 3, he wins Zombie World, wherever his side deck is, which is not posted. He wins Zombie World, Summon Limit, Solemn Judgment with a Ballard Rock. And nothing I could do. I was playing Dragons. There was nothing I could do. It was super sad. But very well played to him. Yeah, good work. It's hard to go deep in tournaments with a deck like this because the deck is not good. And I say that meaning like it just loses so hard, so easily. It loses to itself very easily. It loses to it loses to decks that are like prepared to beat it. I'm not saying my deck wasn't prepared to beat it, but I'm playing 60-card Dragon Link. It's a lot harder to prepare side deck wise for a deck like this because you don't see your side deck cards as much, which is a pro and con to, not a pro and con, but it's a negative aspect to playing 60 cards like I was. So I have no one to blame but myself for losing to it. But it's hard to go far with the deck like this when you have decks like Sword Soul or Despia that can like have in-engine outs to a lot of your stuff. and can side deck very efficiently against you because they play at 40 cards. But so well played to him getting top 8 with it. Kind of shocked to see it, but you know, he had a good run going. Anyways, moving on to the final tournament. As always, it is the, oh sorry, I'm at the bottom of the screen here. Go scroll on back up to the top for the Meta Weekly number 40, hosted by Decade. 64 players, pretty low because it was hosted at a different time than he normally does, but it is what it is. It's single elim, one deck, best of 3, so no side deck as always. Here's the breakdown, but we're going to be going over all this stuff just a second. So moving on. First place, shout out TTK, Titan Khan. It's one of my good friends. He's a really good player. He's playing Pendulum Magicians with some of the new Perform Pal stuff. He's playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new cards with the FTK stuff. I don't like the FTK stuff, but I like the deck that he's going for overall. It's really cool they're playing these new cards. I need to go over all this stuff to make sure that I didn't miss out on some like actual good stuff here. But the Valen stuff is also interesting. I don't know how good this is, but I'm curious to see what he's going for. I might have to reach out to him and see like what his strategy is with all this. It's very cool. Second place we got. Hey, this is our evil twin guy. He's a great evil twin player. You know, he won a tournament a few weeks ago with it, but now he's on Flunder post statue nerf. So I have respect for this somewhat. No, I actually have a lot of respect for it. Playing this deck without the barrier statue is going to be a very difficult task to do. It's still a good deck, but not nearly as good as it once was. And the fact that he's able to get second place with it is very awesome. It's good to see. It's good to see this deck not be dead, but also not be super impressive. So, then top 4 we got Triple D. It's really cool to see this deck doing good. Playing 3 DD Crows in the main deck. Is it searchable in this deck for some reason? Am I crazy? I don't think you can search out DD Crow in this deck in any way. But so I'm kind of surprised you're playing this over other hand traps, but it is good against Despia. It's decent against Sword Soul. It's got applications, so I can see it. But you're also playing a lot of hand traps, right? You're playing 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. You're playing 11 hand traps, so it's not crazy. Top 4, we got a branded Despia. Nothing too insane here. Got droplets, super polys, a few hand traps, not too many. The one-off hand traps I don't love, but it worked out. Then we got I don't really know what to call this deck. It's top 8 Dragoonity, Dragon, Pile, Dragon Link, Pile, something, Dragon Maid, something, Pile. I don't know, honestly. It's a bunch of just cool dragon archetype cards, archetypes just thrown into one deck. I do like cards like this. Like this card is absolutely insane. Basically, if this thing's on the board, you either play can special summon monsters from the extra deck. So it's basically a floodgate, which is really cool. A lot of the Amorphage cards are really good, but a lot of them need to be pendulum summoned to do it, and this one doesn't, which is very interesting. It's a good... You can basically summon this off of Seal and either play can special summon from the extra deck, which there's pros and cons to that because it becomes out of 0 attack, 0 defense, and they can just swing over it, but it's still an option. Yeah, anyways, this deck is kind of awesome. I love stuff like this. I don't know how consistent it is. I don't know how like overall its inboards look, but I do like the design of a deck like this, and it just works. You know, it just works. Very cool. Then we got top 8. Speaking of live twins, we got a live twin list here. Playing the parallel exceed on the main board. How many hand trips we on? 3, 6, 9, 11, 12, 13. Oh, is that correct? 12, 13, 14 hand trips. 14 hand trips. I'm terrible at counting. Well, technically, I guess you could say 17 going second cards, 18 going second cards with the Lightning Storm. That's a lot. That is a lot. But other than that, the list doesn't look too crazy. Then we got a branded Invoked Shaddoll deck. I love to see this. Like, this is good. I thought a deck like this could be interesting, could be good. I wasn't sure how good it would be, but I'm glad to see it doing good. You really don't need to play a lot of Shaddolls for this stuff to be strong because you can just send like the one-off Shaddolls from your deck to the graveyard. I probably would play Dragon if I was playing it in a non-side deck tournament just to have the background removal, but they're going with the Skolmata and with the Beast. Are they playing? So they're not playing. If you guys are interested in a deck like this, I would recommend playing branded in High Spirits. So this is really good with the Shaddoll cards and even with the branded cards because you can just play like Construct and Winda in your extra deck and or Winda, I guess. I guess Winda's a spellcaster essentially, and then Construct's a fairy. So you could play, this has synergy with almost everything, right? You can send your Fallen of Albaz, you can send your Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, to the graveyard for, to send an Albion from the extra deck to the graveyard. So those of you who don't know, I'm sorry, I can't type. you can, Branded High Spirits, send the Albion to send this from your extra deck to the graveyard, and then you can get a free dump off this from your deck to the graveyard. So you can get a lot of just free resources off of a card like that, and you search out your kit. You can search out kit, which they're not playing. You can search out basically anything that lists Fallen of Albaz off the Branded High Spirit. So it's very nice. You can also search out Ecclesia. So there's just a lot of synergy. And you can also do that same thing with the Shadal cards, being spellcasters. You can send like Wind to the graveyard just to get some free other cards and get your Shadal effects. Very cool stuff. Works with Invoker. It works with the Tragedy because the Tragedy is a fairy and then Construct's a fairy. And at this point, I'm just going in circles about this, but it's a very cool strategy, and I like it a lot. And it's something that I've been considering trying, but I just haven't got around to it. Especially with 3 meltdowns now, which they're not playing for whatever reason. They're playing 3, 3, and 2. That seems like a weird ratio. But anyways, it's very cool. Branded High Spirits is a very, very unique and very powerful card, and I love to see stuff like that. So the extra deck doesn't look too crazy. They're playing a few fusions for the invoked. Yeah, they're not playing enough invoked cards in the extra deck to justify 3 invocation, 3 Alistair, 2 meltdowns, in my opinion. I think it should probably be like 2 or 3 in 1. With like all the other ways of fusion summon in the deck, but you know, they did very well with it, so I don't want to critique their list too much because they got top 8 with it. But I think you could probably either trim this down a little bit or keep it at 45 cards and optimize a little bit better. You could also just play some more. Oh, they're playing 3 invoke targets. I'm sorry, I missed all. They're playing 3 invoke targets. The Caliga as well, but still, that's not enough targets to justify, 8 invoked cards. That's too big of an engine, in my opinion. Then we got top 8 Scareclaw Tribrigade, or Triclaw, as I like to call it. This is actually the deck that beat me. I can talk about that a little bit when I get to my deck, but this deck's really, really cool. I really like this deck a lot. I'm thinking about building it because it's very unique. It's very interesting. It gives you access to a lot of really cool stuff. You have access to Paguska in the extra deck, but they're not playing it. You have access to the Baron, which they are playing. And you have access to like a lot of really great Floodgate type cards, like the Triheart and Baguska if you so choose to play it. And you still have the power cards of like Revolt, and then all the Tri-Brigade stuff. So I really, really enjoyed this deck, and I'm considering testing it out because it's strong, and you can play a lot of hand traps as always in Tri-Brigade. But Rescue Cat being your best normal summon is risky, but it's very good. Anyways, moving on to top 16, we got this is the same guy that did good in one of the other tournaments. It's the all gas version of Branded Despia, so like no defensive cards, except they are playing defensive cards now. Okay, so they're playing Forbidden Droplet and Super Poly. That's different. They weren't playing the droplets in the last one. At least I don't believe so. It was this tournament here. Hopefully I didn't misspeak earlier. I might have misspoke. No, they're not playing any droplets. See, it's the same guy. Yeah, they're not playing droplet here. So added some droplets in, some more defensive cards. It's probably because there's no side deck, which makes sense. And they're also playing the Shadal stuff in the main board. So very cool. This is just all gas. The deck's insane when you play against it. It just goes so fast. And then top 16, a little bit more standard Despia. It's some hand trap Despia with some more going second / defensive cards. We got the hand traps, we got the Lightning Storm, Duster, the droplets, Super Polys, all that good stuff. So very cool. Top 8, another Branded Despia. Again, Branded Despia has been doing so good this week. It's absolutely insane. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 defensive cards, including the droplets, Super Polys, Nibs, Maxis, etc. Very cool. Top 16, we got Spiral Tinny again. We already looked at this deck earlier, so I'm not going to go too in-depth with it, but it's very unique, very cool. Interesting list, to say the least. Top 8, we got Madolches. The Pankratops, I've been misspeaking about this with this deck. It's a bridge. This is a small world bridge. They play this to get to any of their Madolche cards. Because it's a dino, so it doesn't have any of that synergized with them, and it's a level 7, so it doesn't have that synergized with them. So you just Madolche into Pankratops, into whatever Madolche you want. It's very cool. And it's also a very good defensive card, or a going second card, I should say. So, very nice list. Then we got top 16 Dragon Link. Nothing too crazy to point out here. Brotar's not uncommon. 3 Dragon Maid might be a little high. 1-for-1's not bad because you're playing the Brotar. They're playing a pretty big rocket engine with the Brotar, so they're playing 2, 2, 3, 2, and a Brotar. It's a lot of, little baby dragons and stuff like that, but that are not these, of course. But it's not bad. Not bad to have extra normal summons. They're playing the droplet in the main board. I don't hate that. Droplet's pretty good. They're playing 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, they're playing 12 defensive cards and 60. It's not... Oh, no, I'm sorry. 14, including the games. Not too many. I don't love that personally, but it's working out. They're playing the 3 Tidyings, 3 Dragon Maids. Not crazy. The extra deck they're playing. They're not playing the Albaz stuff, so they are playing the Masquerena into the Unicorn into the Access Code. That's good. They're not playing the Zombie Vampire. What are they else not playing? They're not playing Duel. Anyways, I'm critiquing this guy's deck too much. He had a great with it. It's a cool deck. It's not unstandard. It just doesn't have as many defensive cards as I was personally like. But anyways, moving on to top 16 branded Dragon Link, I guess you want to call this. It's actually, there's a lot more synergy here than one might realize, right? You can play... Albaz has great synergy with the deck just inherently because you can summon it off seals. And also you could just go into Verte very easily and just use Branded Fusion. So it makes sense. Also, they're all darks, so you don't really lock yourself with the rocket stuff. So you can technically synchro and then go into your fusion stuff and then not have any conflicting stuff going on there. So it's really cool. Very interesting deck. I love it. To be honest, I really like this deck. They're playing the Mass Change too. I'm kind of surprised they're playing this. They're not playing any heroes in the main deck, so you're not dumping those off of Branded Fusion or anything like that, which is kind of interesting. I really don't know why you're playing the Mass Change 2. It's kind of just seems a little sacky. But maybe there's a way to search it out that I'm just missing. But anyways, yeah, it's a very cool list, very unique. I love to see stuff like this and hope to see more of it in the future. It's very cool. I also like the Ding and the extra. Ding is an insane card. In top 16, this is me. This is my Dragon list. I am currently on the Albaz stuff. I like the Albaz stuff a lot. It gives you a lot of versatility going first. It does kind of limit you with your end boards sometimes, but it gives you a lot of utility, and it also makes the Despia matchup just insanely a lot better. And Despia is one of the harder matchups in my opinion, because you can just play normally and then go dark, summon back their Albaz, and then use Albaz to go into your extra deck. So it's really, really cool. So you can kind of abuse the fact that you're playing into Despia a lot with it. So I like that a lot personally. For this event, I was playing the Chaos Emperor Armageddon guy. I just wanted to play it for fun. Every time I saw it, it was good, but it's not insane in the current meta because it's not great against Despia, but it is pretty good against Sword Soul. We'll say that. But all in all, this is kind of the list I've been rocking recently, at least for tournaments. It's been fun. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Actually, really quickly, I'm going to go over the decks at the top just as a quick little refresh. For first place, we got 1 Floowandereeze with a barrier statue, 2 Adamancipators, 1 Synchron combo thingy, 1 Sword Soul, 1 Pendulum Magician. For second place, we had 1 Drytron, 1 Agnister, 1 Performapal, which is really cool, 2 Branded Despias, and 1 Floowandereeze with no barrier statue. Sorry about that. Top 4, we had 1 Adamancipator, 1 Adventure Despia, 1 Speedroid, 1 Zombie World Eldritch, 1 Tri-Brigade Lairlusk, 1 Dragon Link, 1 Spiral, 1 Chaos deck, which is the Phantom Knight, Orcus, Dragon Link, Chaos thing. 1 Buster Dragon Despia, 2 Branded Despias, and 1 Triple D. For top 8, we had 3 Branded Despias, 1 Adamancipator, 1 Pendulum Magician, 1 Spiral Tinny, another Pendulum Magician, sorry, I miswrote that, 2 Phantom Knights, 1 Salamangrate. Didn't see a lot of Salamangrate this week, very interesting. 1 Sword Soul, didn't see a lot of Sword Soul either. 1 Zombie World Eldritch, 1 Dragon Pile. I wonder what that one was. Oh yeah, it was the Dragoonity Dragon Link, Dragon Maid deck, really cool. 1 Live Twin, 1 Branded Invoke Shaddolls, very cool, and 1 Triclaw. For top 16, we had 3 Branded Despias, 1 Spiral Tinny, 1 Madolche, 2 Dragon Links, 1 Branded Dragon Pile. Well, anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. If you guys enjoyed some of this, if you guys enjoyed this video, or if you saw any decks that you found interesting, please leave a comment down below about what decks you liked. What are your thoughts on some of the metagame? The meta is not really shifting, but it is shifting in the sense of people are getting bored, I think, and playing some random stuff. So if you guys have any suggestions for like decks you'd like me to showcase on the channel, like let me know in the comment section below. Also, just like let me know what decks you found cool from this week. And yeah, what you expect next week to happen. But anyways, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.